What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Modern Philosopher. Today I'm going to be talking about having the courage to be disliked, so stick around for this video. I think it's very important you guys hear this. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel, guys, so we can get some more exposure out in all platforms, so hit that like button down below. Leave me a comment just to let me know your thoughts and opinions on the topic at hand, or if you have something you want me to talk about. And as always, share with your friends and family, because I think it's important we help each other figure out the answers to life's biggest questions. Having the courage to be disliked is the most underrated trait that a person can have. Now, when I mean disliked, I don't necessarily mean that you are hated. Those are two different terms, right? Hated means people see something in you that they don't like, or you've caused something to happen to somebody else and they have a reason to despise you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm simply talking about having the courage to sometimes do something that other people may not find so appealing, right? So the reason it's an underrated trait is because what it provides you with is the freedom to move in whichever way you want to move, right? In this day and age that we live in, we're so connected and we have access to so much information, but what we also have access to is other people's opinions. And other people's opinions can oftentimes stop us from going where we want to go, doing what we want to do, being who we really want to be in our lives, especially when it comes to friends and family, because those are people who have invested so much time in us, and they are, they're looking out for us, and we know they have the best intentions, and so we usually want to make them happy. So when you are moving about in a way that other people don't find necessarily appealing, they oftentimes will try to stop you from going that direction. They'll tell you their opinions. They'll say, hey, listen, I don't really like that you're doing X, Y, and Z. I don't think it's that good of an idea. Well, what having the courage to be disliked really does for you is it allows you to say, hey, listen, I understand that you don't like this, but I've got to go here. And whether or not you approve of what my next steps are in my personal life or what I'm doing out in public, I'm going to do it regardless, because I know that this is going to bring me fulfillment in my life. I think this is a very important trait, especially, like I said, when it comes to friends and families, when it comes to even our loved ones, like, spouses, significant others, stuff like that too. The reason why I think it's especially hard today is because I'm gonna struggle with trying to draw this parallel, right? People want certain things out of life. And I know I made a video early on back talking about how relationships are one of the best ways to get some of the things that you want out of life, right? And I'm not talking about intimate relationships, but I'm talking about having relationships with people, building a connection with maybe an individual that's where you want to be at in life, or building in a relationship with someone who's on the purpose that you agree with, right? And while that is true, there's also an individuality to life, and that's where you have to sometimes separate yourself from everybody else. And having the ability to move about in a way, and also at the same time not care what people think, is something that is important to you separating yourself. It's often hard for us to separate our political or group identity with our own individual identity. I think this is something that each of us has an issue with. That's why you see a lot of movements that are popping up nowadays. Everybody's a part of something. Everybody identifies with a certain community or a certain group, and it's very hard to act in a way that is self gratifying when you're in what's the word I'm looking for, when you're in contact with these groups, when you're a part of these groups. That's the word. I don't know why that escaped me. It's very hard to move as an individual when you're part of a group whose mission is above yours, right? And so you have to be able to simply say, hey, listen, I understand that you guys are going this way, but I am not supposed to go that way. I have to go here. And if you don't agree with it, if you don't like it, that doesn't really matter to me, because I still have to go here. I've used this a lot of times in my life, and while it's been mostly in small situations where, matter of fact, I'll give you an example. I remember when the first time I kind of traveled out of state on my own. Me and some friends, we were out and about, we were wandering the city, and they wanted to go to a particular destination. Now, I didn't really want to go to this particular destination, nor did I didn't want to indulge in whatever, in the activity they're about to do. And so I said, you know what, man, I don't want to go there. And they're like, no, come on, man, it's going to be fun. And I said, nah, I think I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to go, do what I want to do. And so they said, all right, man, keep in touch and this, that, and the third. And then we went about our own way. And I had a lot of fun. And they had a lot of fun. And from there, we were able to actually, all of us, enjoy our time in this new city. But had I gone along with what they wanted me to do, I probably would not have had much fun. I would have missed out on some of the sights that I got to see on my own, some of the experiences that I had. I would have missed out on those. And even worse is I would have felt guilty for doing something I really didn't want to do, right? So when you are an individual, you have to be able to sometimes separate yourself from people who you identify with, whether it's a community, it's a group, or whatever, right? You have to be able to separate yourself. And the reason why is, although you might be a part of that movement, a part of that group, that theme that you're a part of is not what defines you. You define yourself by your actions, by your thoughts, by the way that you move around in your life, by the places you're trying to go, and by the person who you want to be. That's how you define yourself. And if you're not capable of separating yourself from the world, essentially, what's going to happen is the world will tell you who you should be, and you may not agree. And you're going to feel as if people don't necessarily care for you. You're going to feel like people don't listen to you. You're going to feel like people don't care about who you really are. It's going to be a very, very emotionally traumatic time. So guys, I want to encourage you to say, or to be able to say, it's okay to sometimes be disliked by people. And like I said, I didn't say to be hated by people. That's a different story altogether. But simply to be disliked, which means to do something that other people may not find so appealing. It's okay to do that, because even though they may not find it appealing, in the end, it might be the very thing that you need to do to help you be more fulfilled in your own personal life. So guys, I hope I made sense when I made during this video. I hope that you guys understood what I was trying to take away from this. It's easier said than done to be the type of person that is that confident in themselves and can say, hey, I don't care what you think about me doing this thing that I have to do, because I know I have to do it. It's very hard to do it. And so I suggest you start small. Learn to say no, right? To some of the small things that you don't want to do. If you don't want to go out to a certain restaurant, say no. If you don't want to go eat a certain food, say no. Let yourself build that confidence in yourself little by little by little by little. And that way, when you get to the larger issues in your life where you're, presented with an idea of, hey, we're all trying to go in this direction, but you shouldn't go, you can say, hey, I'm not going. You guys enjoy yourself, but I'm going in this direction. Guys, that's my word for the day. I'll see you on another video. Deuces.